I'm Diane Berry. So I have a kitchen company in Manchester called Diane Berry Kitchens. Awards are something that feels like the industry is saying to me, well done, we like what you do. The important thing for that family was it didn't look like anyone else's kitchen. So we worked really hard to find materials and products to put together so that it didn't look like anything in my showroom. It didn't look like anything that I'd done before. It was really important. And the feature ceiling was always on the wish list. We always knew we were going to have a powerful ceiling. It's something that she'd seen at the Ivy in Manchester and just loved it. So people pinch ideas and get ideas from places, and then you think, I've got to find a way. You've got to find a way to almost calm down some of the other things, because I always knew that there was going to be this unbelievable ceiling feature. And the room's got a lot of height and it's got a lot of light and it's a big space, and they wanted to sit in the window. So the idea, people have quite romantic ideas, and it's nice to embrace those romantic ideas. Very interestingly, some of the bigger rooms are harder, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to create a room that works. If it's small and you've got the fridge at one end and the oven at the other, or the coffee machine at one end, it might only be 7 paces from one end to the other to make a cup of tea, to get the milk to go back to the cooker. But in a big kitchen, it could be 20, 30 paces. So actually, you've got to solve the design, the spatial design, much more in a big room. Otherwise, it's no joy to be in the room, because just to make a meal, you're running a mile. There was a designer years ago that came up with an expression, which is mad make a drink, is how many paces does it take to make a drink? And I often think about that little thing, is this kitchen mad? Does it work? How many paces from there? And nowadays it's not the kettle, got the cooker to think about, and then an espresso machine. So the two things don't go together either. So quite often you've got tea coming from the cooker, but coffee coming from an espresso machine, which can be in different places. So you're trying to think, well, where's the teaspoon? Where are the cups to do both those things? Put 2 sinks in. So there's what I would class as the main sink, washing up sink is under the window, the big sink. But then we actually cut the geology unit, which is on the back of the island, to put a small sink in. So we had to get rid of drawers and then take the drawer fascias and make it into a cupboard, so that we could put the boiling hot water tap on the island, which helps for whether it's making pastas and things at the hob. So it keeps the pan safe, but it also gets drinking on the side where they actually had their breakfast cupboard, where the toast and everything else is. I'm trying to think how old the children are. They'll be 9 and 11. So that you've got children that will chase each other around the island. So you're then concentrating on how do you make it safe if you're, straining a pan of pasta in the sink. It's nice if there's a sink on the island. In a small kitchen, that would just eat up your worktop. You need work surface and space. So big rooms can be very, very challenging. There are companies I watch, not many of them are British, like going to the Cologne and the Milan exhibitions, which obviously because of COVID I've not been able to do. And I like going to luxury hotels, not just because I like luxury hotels, but you do get lots of ideas. So I was in Harvey Nicks in London, and there was a whole wall that was a feature wall, and it was just wooden egg cups in a pattern. And you just think that's so cute, and it's so kitchen. See, it's kitchen orientated. You think, well, you just have to open your eyes. I'm watching programs on television, whether it's Suits or anything like that. I'm watching the background. I'm watching the rooms and the windows and the cushions. And I think people are sick of seeing big sections of flat doors. So I think you're getting mixtures. You'll see a lot of like the slatted walls. So you see a lot of things like slatted doors coming in, and then a mixture of metallics. And there's a lot going on with materials like Decton, where you've got marbling and hard finishes coming onto the fronts of doors. So I think you're going to get a lot of textures mixing, and I think you'll probably get sections where you've perhaps got a door with a tiny frame on some of the kitchen, and then a flat panel on some of the kitchen. So you'll even mix styles of doors within the range. Bronze is definitely still there, brass is still there. But definitely dark blacks, matte blacks and textures. And a lot of it is about hiding appliances. So you will see ovens disappearing now. So ovens are often in cupboards now, so that when at night time, if you're in an open plan environment and you're seeing your kitchen, you're not seeing an oven with fingerprints on it or a drip down the back of the door because you've shut it away in a cupboard. And it also means it stays a little bit more timeless, because I think you can often date kitchens by their ovens as well. We used to see extractors and now we don't. You used to see tiles, now we don't. You think, well, what's the only other thing? It's the ovens. So it looks more like a piece of furniture than a kitchen at night. So I think that's kind of where we are.